Happy Purple Shirt Tuesday, everybody. Mara looking sharp. Lisa looking sharp. I don't think I've ever seen Liza driving in the morning. This is a rarity.
I usually keep my camera off, and then you always give people shit about leaving their cameras off, so I decided to turn it on today.
Hey, I appreciate that. It lets me know that you're paying attention, or at least I can see your head nods or your smiles, because how boring would this be the entire time? It's like listening to a podcast live. It's no fun. You want to see people's reactions. So, that being said, if you have a camera, use it. I don't care if you don't think you're pretty in the morning. I think you're pretty. Even you, Jacob. We missed Jacob's birthday yesterday. Shame on me. So happy belated birthday, brother. All right, it's 8:02. I want to hear from you. Let's hear some wins. Wins, celebrations, something you're proud of.
I lost that $1.8 million listing, but I'm okay with it because I got some good feedback. And if I'm not realtor number one, I don't mind being realtor number two in about 6 months.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got some good feedback. That's a way of looking at something in a positive manner. Great job, Jim. Anyone else? Everyone else?
Well, I at my old brokerage, I did one listing a year or one sale a year. But now that I moved here to Keller Williams, I'm working on 4 transactions all at once.
There you go, Miss Audrey.
I just started here.
Way to go.
So Audrey, did you change, or did was it the environment that changed?
I think I did a lot of work there. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think I didn't have connections to my people. So I had a batch CMR, but then I did get a lot of face-to-face with people. So I don't know. I think it's, just connections. Didn't have a good CMR.
Command's a hell of a CMR, or CRM for people that know it by that acronym. So
sorry.
It's okay. It's all good. Whatever you call it as long as you use it. All right. Any other wins, celebrations, things you're proud of? Like, what did you do yesterday that you thought was awesome? Or what have you done lately that you thought was awesome? I mean, Jamie Clark and I officially became Facebook friends yesterday. Shame on him for not making that done sooner.
You turned down my friendship 4 separate times. Don't lie.
Hey, consistent, man. You're persistent. That's all that matters.
No, yeah, I've been going through Facebook and looking at people that I know. Prior to this role, I didn't do I was cautious on who I was friends with and whatnot. I mean, I still am, but it's opened up my world quite a bit.
I'm glad that I was one of your reckless friend ads. So here's the thing. Let's talk. It goes into what I want to talk about this morning is, when was the last time you took inventory of your friends? When was the last time you looked around at the people you're spending a bunch of time with or not spending a bunch of time with? The people in our environments are directly influencing our successes. So, do you have friends in your social media, on your cell phone, or in the real world that you could spend more time with that would benefit you in a positive manner? Do you have some friends that you could spend less time with? It's a really good thing to think about, right? So, if
For me, it's always positive, right?
Go ahead, Jamie.
You want to hang around the friends who are positive and who are pushing you, not the ones that, the people that are kind of dwelling in negativity in your life. If you hang out with them, then that bleeds into your life.
It's amazing how fast someone can tank your mindset. So be around positive people, spend some good time with them, but then challenge the people around you to challenge you. If you're not in an environment of growth, then sorry, you're decaying. That's my little 2 cents this morning. All right, it's Tuesday. It's August 29th. We are just, 2 days away from the end of this month? Which means that the working day for today is December. We're in December in our closings, which means we're closing out this year pretty strong. What is it going to take from you today to get business under contract to be able to close by the end of this year? Who do you have in your pipeline? Who is in your database? Who have you talked to that you need to follow up with today to maximize the opportunity for you to close the deal by the end of this year? Super important question you should ask yourself every day. What are my 3 hottest prospects? Identify them, communicate with them, follow up with them. Other than that, what conversations, topics, or objections or situations would you like to work on today? I told you yesterday to have a couple prepared so that we can go over them. Who wants to go first?
I wanted to ask Jim why he thinks, or what he thinks made him lose that $1.8 million listing. Maybe we can work on it.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm pretty consistent with the follow-up, right? Told him I'll contact him on Friday, send over the documentation, next steps, blah blah blah. No answer Friday, shot him a text, left a message. Followed up again on Monday as promised, and he shot me back, hey, busy at work, et cetera, et cetera. We decided to go a different route. And I said, hey, no problem. If you're still thinking about selling, let me know. I have a lot of, myself and a lot of the agents in my office have buyers that are interested in that area that I'd love to continue to market it to, continue to provide value. Also, let me know if you have any other questions. I said, just out of my curiosity, are you still going to be selling the property? And I didn't receive a response back for quite a while. And then later that night, he called me back and said he's going to continue to keep renting it. And he built a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,000 square foot ADU out the back too. That he'd be renting that as well. So I think he's figuring out that he can maximize the investments, and the market shift's not going to quite get him what he wants to get. And it may not be the right time for them. So I didn't want to push a whole lot. And again, just trying to be of service and provide value. But what I'm going to do is continue to drip and drip and drip and drip. Instead of my once a week, it'll probably be a once a month just to check in, that type of thing. But that was about the extent of the feedback I got. He did still recognize us as a valuable source, was super appreciative of all the info we shared with them. It just didn't sound like the time really matched up for him.
Yeah. What was making him want to sell in the first place? Making more money.
Exactly.
So what can he do when he rents it? Make more money. In those situations, it really is. It's on you to ask good questions, to uncover some truths, because some people are going to feel a little ashamed, maybe a little embarrassed to tell you that they're not going to sell the house because they've already told you, hey, I want to sell my house. Now I don't want to, and I feel embarrassed, so I'm just going to not respond to you. So opening that doorway and allowing people to step into the truth and saying, hey, whatever you chose, I'm supporting you. Wherever you're at in it, let me know. Allowing people that comfort to kind of talk back themselves or take back what they've already said will uncover some of those truths. Like, hey, we're thinking about renting it. We have this ADU. It'll pay itself off in a couple of years. Like, you know what? Hey, that's a fantastic idea if you want to continue renting it. One thing you can do here is send them a breakdown of what it would be like if they sold the house and rolled it to a 1031 exchange and bought a couple other properties with the investment money. Like, maybe they get enough liquid capital to buy 3 different properties and then rent them out and show them what they would be netting monthly on a rental there. That's one way to convert somebody who's like, you know what, I'm just going to keep it and rent it. All right, you're going to rent it for X amount. This is what you're going to get. Or you sell it, you take the proceeds, you go buy these 3 units or this 6-unit apartment complex or this 12-unit apartment complex if you have enough money, and then this is how much you're going to get out of it. Always providing opportunities and options allows you to stay conversational instead of just, are you ready to sell yet? How your rentals going? You ready to sell yet? How are your tenants? You ready to sell yet? Blah, blah, blah. These are all things that create conversations of value. It's, hey, did you ever think about doing a 1031 exchange and buying this unit? Hey, did you know that this apartment complex is for sale? You could sell your property and the money proceeds down payment and buy this commercial building and have twice the cash flow.
I shared that with him too. He'd only own it for 18 months. So
well, in 6 months, in
6 more months. That's what I told him. Yep.
In 6 more months, you can sell it. So great question, Jacob. Let's talk about situations like that where somebody's kind of pulled back from a deal or changed the mindset around it. It's on us to ask good questions to get more of that truth, then build a follow-up plan. That's not just, are you interested yet? Are you interested yet? Are you interested yet? Like we talked about this last week. We made an 8-point, an 8-point follow-up plan just by the mastermind of asking you guys all to come up with one idea. What other situations, topics, or objections? Go ahead, Cheryl.
So I have a buyer who goes to our church, and we've been talking for months about this. They're renting, him and his family. he brought it up to me that, they want to buy a house in the third quarter. 'Cause they're selling part of, I guess, his business or a business where they were going to get quite a bit of money, and he wanted to pay cash. And he was looking, he's been looking on my app at 900 million, to $1 million homes range on my, the app. I gave him all that, and we've talked, every couple of weeks we'll talk at church and give me updates. So this is third quarter. And so last week we talked, and he said that and I don't guess, because I don't know enough about the business part of it, what he's doing, but he said the shareholders had a meeting and they're not going to sell or whatever till the first quarter now. And I just, I'm just not sure, like, for follow-up now, what do I do? He just kind of said, I'll keep him, we'll keep in touch and talk and blah, blah, blah. But from now till then, that's after the first of the year. And how, I don't want to, every time I see him, and he said, actually, he's looking at he doesn't care about the interest rate because he's paying cash. He wants a higher interest rate, so he makes more money. They want. So I'm just like, at this point, what do I do between now and then without bugging him?
All right, group. What do you think?
Be a resource, provide value. It's the easiest thing to do.
All right, let's dive into that. What kind of resource and value? Like she's talked about the situation. If someone's not doing something till the end of the year, every time she sees him almost every week, it's not gonna be like, are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? How would you approach it? Come on now, take yourselves off mute. No wrong answers here.
Dan's objection handling kind of platform. Well, not Dan's, but the objection handling platform. Isolate it. Make sure that that's the only objection. And then if it is, then work on overcoming that objection. When people say especially if they say 6 months, right? It's going to take you time to get it ready, get the photography, get all that stuff. Before they know it, 3 months you'll be 3 months away and you'll have 3 months worth of work to do for it. So I really try to illustrate kind of in my listing strategy, my marketing strategy, what that time frame actually looks like, and not from a pushy thing like, oh, you said 6 months, it's going to take me 3 months to get it ready, right? But just making them aware of how long the process takes. So if Jan 1 they want to sell, or whatever, 6 months from now, the date they want to sell, that they know that these steps should be in place prior to be successful.
Well, if he doesn't have control over what he said the shareholders decided to sell this business where he's supposed to get the money the first quarter. So I'm assuming he doesn't have any control over that. So I'm just between now and then, he's a buyer, by the way, but just some ideas of how to keep in touch, without hounding him.
I'm just waiting for someone else to jump in, guys. This is where you be a part of it and speak what you're thinking, because even if you say something wrong, it allows us to help control the environment so that you can grow from it.
You said he's a buyer,
Yeah,
Yes.
he's a buyer.
What's he selling?
but he knows the seller doesn't want to sell until first quarter, so he's communicating directly with the seller.
No, he's a buyer who's renting a home now, and it's a business deal that is selling, that they have shareholders and everything that are meeting. And I don't know if it's his business or he's he's obviously part of it also. So they've just moved it to the first quarter. They were supposed to be doing it the third quarter.
So one key thing we're missing here is the guy's paying cash.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's getting that cash from probably the sell of the business that he's a shareholder of.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I was confused. I thought I thought the shareholders had to sell a property to him.
That's what I was thinking
No.
too. That's
Okay.
why I was confused.
That's why we ask questions. We get clarity of it. This is important. I picked up the fact he doesn't care about interest. He's paying cash. However, he's looking for $1 million property. Most people don't have $1 million cash sitting around.
Right.
Then she said something about a shareholder being sold and a business being sold. And we can assume 1-to-1. Okay, are you going to get the money to buy the property from the sale of that business?
That's yes.
So he can't do anything until then. Miss Cheryl, let me ask you, if you were in a position to finance the property that was perfect for you until you could pay it off with the cash of the sale, would that be interesting to you?
Possibly with him. He doesn't even want to look at anything because he's got 3 kids. And he said, I don't want to get everybody excited and then not have the money to do it. So I don't know his situation there on the finance.
that was something I would ask him, is if there was a possibility to get financing in place until the sale went through.
Yeah, that's true.
That way, if you find something that's perfect, take advantage of it. There are 50,000 different ways to finance a house.
Well, couldn't you, I mean, use the lack of inventory as like, hey, let's just start looking. You know, you don't have to involve the kids, but I can set you up on a search. We can just start looking. Inventory's tight for what you're looking for. We don't want you to miss an opportunity. Let's just stay in communication and we'll keep working through this. That way you stay in his front of mind.
That's true.
It kind of ties into what Shannon said in the chat. I was really excited to see this. She personally uses this time to get to know the people more personally and strengthen the friendship while providing them information intermittently between now and then. It's all about the top of mind. It's all about the relationship. So if we're able to continue to foster that growth in relationship while we are getting those pillars of importance, like selling the business, and then the proceeds don't come in for 90 days, and then the search after that point. Oftentimes we instantly go into, well, they're just blowing me off and they're going to get to another agent, or they're actually not going to do anything because they keep putting these moving targets on there. Have you ever sold a company? You don't get the money overnight.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is if he's going to sell the company, you get the money to buy the house from the company, then there's a lot that goes into that. So providing the value, hey, I'm here for you when that happens. Have you looked at this? Or every time I see him, if I come up with something new, I'm going to make sure I'm act like his name is Bob. Hey, Bob, did you see that email I sent you last week? That house that popped up. Let me know what you think about it. I think it'd be perfect for you guys. And if something like that shows up when we're ready, let me know. Or, hey, what do you think about the 2 houses I sent you yesterday? What would you change? What do you love?
Okay.
Now what you're doing is you're effectively shaping your search to exactly what he's looking for.
And I had been doing that up until that point. He was, he'd say, oh, I love it. I can't, as soon as we have the cash, we'll go looking. And he would say, yeah, send me things. And I would, just give him some ideas. Hey, I saw this really good one that sounds perfect for you. I went and looked at one by myself for him, a preview of it. And he really loved it. I just took a couple photos. And so it's just that now, I didn't know if I should hold off, but I could, like you said, make the.
What kind of business is he selling?
Well, he's in the HVAC business. So, like I said, he didn't tell me if he's selling that business or it's another investment he has. He just said he had an investment that he was selling. And
gotcha.
So I guess I need to.
Yeah.
So what if it's an investment property that's in another location and there could have been, you don't know what it is. Like, I ask a lot of questions about what people are doing. Not in like a nosy way, but in a interested way, because it's a really great way to connect with people too. Because even if you don't really know what it is that they're doing, people love to talk about what they're doing and they like to talk about themselves, and inherently people like to help. So, like that's a way for you to connect with him a little bit more. If you understand what it is that he's doing, gives you better conversation topics.
True. I got the impression it was a business of some sort, but because he's renting now and everything. But yeah, I could say just in general conversation, say, so what type of investment is this? Just in chatting.
Yeah. And like just general conversation, like, I don't know, ways to connect with people, because then you have better conversations when you call versus just like, hey, here's another house that you already told me you can't buy right now.
Exactly.
Creating positive conversations is important, where you're able to support their goals, their needs, and then providing them a value of the relationship that you're building. You're staying in contact, you're staying top of mind, you're giving them resources, giving them opportunities. Maybe send them something on a 1031 exchange. Hey, maybe most investors don't even know about it. Hell, most realtors don't even know about it. And most of you are like, yeah, I'm awkwardly shaking my head because I don't know what a 1031 exchange is. And that's the truth. So we provide value, we get more of that. So great opportunity there, Cheryl. How many of us have a client in our database or in our pipelines that we've been talking to that is still a few months out or maybe a year or so out, and we feel awkward reaching out to them? Right? Audra's being honest, Liza's being honest. Thank you. Have you focused in on the relationship, family, occupation, recreations, dreams? That's where you go. You don't get awkward. You pick up the phone and you say, hey, Joanne, it's Big Dan. How's your family? I know you guys are still a couple months out from buying. You were on my heart and I wanted to see how things are going at work. You can make that 4 different phone calls. How's your family? How are things at work? What are you guys doing to stay busy? And hey, I ask a question. What time, what's the first party you're going to have in your house? Or who are you going to invite over first? Get the dream aspect there. That's 4 different phone calls. That's 4 different conversations. 4 doesn't have to be a conversation all at once. Knock out family, occupation, recreation, dream, phone call, done. No, it can be family for 1 phone call, 2 phone calls, 4 phone calls, and then occupation, and then back to family, and then recreations, and back to occupation, and then into dreams, and then back to recreation. Get to know people and find out what they're doing.
And listen to what they say, like just little details. Like, I have one right now who last time I talked to her, she mentioned to me that her entire family had been sick. So, the next time I check in with her, they're not moving until January. Next time I check in with her, it'll be, about her family, her kids. Is everybody feeling better? Did you get the germs out of your house? Kind of situation. Like, connect with her on a more personal level. And honestly, may or may not ask her anything about real estate.
When we utilize a CRM or a CMR for Audra, just messing with you. Put notes in the system. What you talked about. What key importance was there?
And things you see on social media if they follow you, did they get a new puppy? What's the puppy's name? They're going to put it on there. Did this happen or did that happen? Or life events? Did their kid graduate? Like little tidbits of information that connect you to them as a person versus somebody just behind a phone, especially people that you've never met face to face because they might not be here.
That is one of the best opportunities for you to build is social media. Holy crap, do people put a ton of information out there that they probably, and it can be used against you. However, it can be used to benefit. I think I said this last week, is realtors are creepy. Go be creepy. Go find some information. Go stalk a Facebook page. Go look at an Instagram. Go get to know somebody. I was at a scripting.
If they haven't accepted your friend request, maybe don't mention their dog's name, but
once you're officially friends.
Right.
I was on a national scripting competition with Keller Williams Worldwide a couple years ago. And when I got brought in for our round of it, Jason Abrams, who was at the time was just the coordinator of this, is now our leader and was
fantastic.
The VP of industry. He was bringing up some very key information he pulled from my Instagram. He's like, "Oh, I heard you just bought a new truck, and its name is Rudolph the Ram Deer." I'm like, "Yeah." And like to my surprise, and he's like, "Was this a dream truck of yours? Have you always wanted one?" I kind of deflated him because I'm like, "No, it was just the next truck in the line of trucks. I bought it because I was bored of the last one." But he went and he researched me so that he had something to talk about. So it wasn't just, "Hey, this is Dan Caldwell from Tucson." It was creating a personal connection instantly. So you can get a lot of information off of somebody, or it could provide you some guidance on what questions to ask. If you see a whole bunch of military stuff in their profiles, don't assume they were military. What can you ask? "Hey, were you military?" I had a meeting with the girl yesterday. She's sitting across from me at my desk, and she is sitting very proper. The way she shook hands, her 30-inch footstep, everything screamed military. And I asked her, I was like, "Were you in the military?" And she sat back all proud. She goes, I was Air National Guard for 15 years. I was like, "Fantastic. I can tell." And she's all, "You can?" Like getting all proud. I was all, "Yeah, the way that you handle yourself and you hold yourself to a high esteem. I appreciate that. Thank you for your work." You get to learn people quickly. Social media just gives you cue cards. "Hey, do you like dogs or cats?" "Cats? What's your cat's names?" "Mitzi, Bitsy, and Boop." Right? Put it in your fucking notes so that when you call back, you're like, "Hey, how are the cats? How's Mitzi doing?"
Put things about you too in your social media that could connect to certain people, because if you don't think that they're looking, you're dead wrong.
They're looking. People want, and we'll talk social media more tomorrow. I think it's a good conversation, but people want to know more about the person that they're doing business with than how much business you've done.
Do you know how many deals I've gotten because I have horses on my Facebook page?
Not as
Because
many as
people
I
will call
because of my dog.
Right. Well, I got those too, but
The man has built her
but
business.
they
on
call
being
in there, it's horse
property.
people.
Yeah. Horse people like horse people. Dog people like dog people. Cat people can't be trusted. Take a minute today. any moment of your day, don't dive into social media. Don't spend all day on there, but take a moment and look at what people see. Go look at your public profile or borrow your spouse's phone and look at your profile on there and see how it appears. Can I tell who you are, what you do, and what your hobbies are by the first page of your Instagram? I'm saying these are things that polarize people. Great conversations today, guys. This is where I want you to bring these topics and suggestions up. So tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit about social media, a little bit about putting stuff out there and the scripting around those, comments, likes, sharing stuff that you can get some engagement. But today, spend a moment. I don't want you to dive into it and go down a rabbit hole, but I want you to spend a minute and see what it looks like. How does it appear? Do people get to know who you are, an essence of you real fast? If not, start changing that. If everything you post is business, it just becomes a buzz.
Mhm.
People ignore you. But sprinkle in
People
some
work
light.
with people.
Go ahead, Amanda.
I said people work with people. They like to work with people that they like and that they relate to and they connect with. There's 7,000 realtors. They want to work with a person. So
People like to work with people like them. Go find more people like you and show more people who you are so they can find you. Right? I get a message a week about somebody seeing my truck or a picture of my truck in traffic because I'm driving everywhere. Hell, we got a recruit that joined Keller Williams because I was parked in front of her at a stoplight and she remembered we talked 2 years ago. You'd be surprised at how much people are watching you. It's kind of creepy to think that way, but you're in the public eye. You're a public servant. You're helping people buy houses. That's a very public thing. So share a little bit of your life. Don't get too private in there. Don't put your woes and your troubles on social media. Nobody wants to see that shit. However, celebrate what's exciting in your life. Keep key details away. But if you have a dog and you're proud of your dog, do a video with your dog. Tie it with real estate. Celebrate who you are, what you do. Till then, big high five.